Aiden and Charlotte sat in his new car outside of Club Kain, a club owned by Dominic Grayson, the second most powerful mob boss in Chicago. Having lunch there with Charlotte would be the perfect way to take a look around without being noticed. It's dangerous, but it might be worth the risk to learn more about Dominic and his gang. Let's have lunch there. I think that's a great idea, he told Charlotte. She smiled back at him. Yay! As Aiden and Charlotte entered Club Kain, Aiden looked around. The scale of the space was impressive and nearly just as opulent as the Sapphire Club, only with a darker, seedier vibe. As they walked through the club to find a table, Aiden noticed that a lot of the clientele were carrying weapons in their suit pockets or tucked away in the back of their pants. I've got to watch my step around here. Everybody in here is armed. After Charlotte and Aiden finished lunch, they sipped on some cocktails, soaking in the atmosphere. Well, that was delicious. Charlotte stared into Aiden's eyes. Not as good as the Sapphire Club, but almost, Aiden said with a wink. Charlotte leaned in closer. So, tell me more about yourself. Aiden hesitated. I think the music in here is a bit loud for deep conversation, don't you think? Don't do that. Don't deflect. Come on, you said you work for Cyrus? What do you do for him? I want to know more about you. Aiden chuckled. I'm sure your life is way more interesting than mine. She smiled. Nobody ever wants to hear about me. I do. There was a loaded pause between them. Suddenly, Aiden overheard two men talking. There's a rumor going around that the Tiger is alive, and he's back in Chicago. Well, even if that's true, he's certainly no match for Dominic Grayson. Aiden cocked his head to one side, trying to eavesdrop on their conversation. But don't you think we should try to find him? Shut up, Johnny. We should do nothing. The Tiger isn't going to change anything. You can't even compare the Tiger to Dominic. The man who was named Johnny sighed. Okay, whatever you say. Charlotte, who had also been eavesdropping on the conversation, scoffed, sipping her drink. Those idiots must be drunk. I wouldn't dare talk about the Tiger in Dominic Grayson's club. Aiden blinked at Charlotte. You know about the Tiger? And Dominic? She nodded. Of course. Everybody knows about the Tiger in Chicago. He's basically a legend, whoever he is. Then Johnny piped up again. Look, all I'm saying is that everybody knows that the Tiger and his mob are serious business. If he really is back, don't you think we should... Dude, I'd shut up if I were you, the other man interjected. It sounds like you think the Tiger is better than Dominic. Well, maybe he is, Johnny replied. The other man groaned. We'd better get out of here before somebody overhears your loud mouth. Without saying another word, the two men stood up, hurrying out of the club. As they did, Aiden noticed something strange. In a corner booth, sitting by himself, Aiden spotted a peculiar-looking man with a dark suit watching Johnny and his friend leave. The man quietly threw some cash down on the table to pay his bill. Then he stood up and followed the two men out. Charlotte's words suddenly snapped Aiden back to reality. Look, there's not much to know about me. I'd really prefer to hear about you. He had almost forgotten that he was still sitting at a table with her. He didn't reply. Instead, he watched carefully as the man in the dark suit pulled out a gun and exited the club. Would you excuse me for a second, Charlotte? I've just got to, get something out of the car. Without wasting another second, Aiden jumped up from his seat and began trailing the man in the dark suit. Charlotte called after him. Okay. But you're coming back, right, Aiden? Aiden continued following the man with the gun, without responding to Charlotte. I have a feeling something's about to go down. I need to see where this guy's going. Aiden followed the mysterious man out of the club into an alley, careful not to be spotted. He clung to the shadows as the sun sank lower in the sky. Finally, after following him for a few minutes, Aiden reached a dead end in a back alley and spotted the man in the dark suit along with a handful of other thugs. Carrying bats and guns, they surrounded Johnny, the man Aiden overheard sticking up for him in the restaurant. A few of them beat Johnny with the bats as he yelped in pain. "This'll teach you to badmouth the boss. Where's your precious tiger now?" The thugs all jeered and laughed as they continued the beating. Aiden stepped forward from his hiding place. "Hey!" Aiden's voice echoed through the alley. All of the thugs stopped what they were doing and turned to face him. "Back away from him and nobody has to get hurt. This ends now." There was a moment of silence. Then all of the thugs started laughing. The man in the dark suit stepped forward. "Oh yeah? What are you gonna do to stop us?" Aiden cracked his knuckles. "Let's dance, big guy." Without wasting another second, Aiden charged at the thugs before they had a chance to pull out their guns. "You'll have to be quicker than that," he shouted as several of the thugs fired shots at him. Aiden picked up the lid from a nearby garbage can and flung it at them. "Heads up!" The lid smacked one of them in the head and then rattled off the others like a pinball. "Nice. Looks like I hit the jackpot on that ball." Aiden grabbed the gun from one of the thug's hands, disarming him. He then used the butt of the gun to knock another thug unconscious. "You know, I've always found guns to be a bit played out. I much prefer a good old-fashioned punch." With his free hand, Aiden punched the man in the dark suit square in the jaw. The last remaining thug charged at Aiden. "You son of a bitch!" Aiden heard him coming and ducked, narrowly missing gunfire. Bullets whizzed by his ears. While crouched, Aiden swung out his leg, kicking and tripping the last thug. The thug fell to the ground with a solid thud, his leg breaking as he fell. "Ah! I think you broke my leg!" Aiden smirked, staring down at the goon on the ground. "Yeah? Well, I hear that's good luck." He kicked the goon in the head, knocking him unconscious. Aiden stood over the group of thugs, triumphant. From behind him, he heard Johnny's voice. Who are you?" Aiden turned around to face him, smiling. "I'll tell you who I am, so long as you promise me one thing." "Anything." Johnny quaked as blood dripped from his nose. "The secret stays between you and me." Johnny nodded. Aiden grinned. "I'm the tiger." Johnny's eyes went wide. Without saying another word, Aiden headed back out of the alley, the low sun silhouetting him like an action hero. After the fight, Aiden drove Charlotte home. "You can drop me off on the corner." Aiden pulled the car over, unlocking the doors. "Thanks for joining me for lunch." "Oh, no, thank you. I had a great time." She smiled and tossed her auburn hair once more. There was a moment of silence between them. Aiden could feel the tension. "No, I can't be attracted to her. She's my fiancé's best friend." "Good night, Aiden." She stepped out of the car onto the sidewalk, waving at him as he drove away. That was one of the longest days of my life. Aiden chuckled to himself when he returned to the stone mansion. He was covered with bruises from the fight, and his clothes were all scuffed up. "They're not gonna like how I look right now. But at least I've got some good news for Ava's parents about my new job. I'm one step closer to winning them over." As he walked toward the living room, he could hear Sandra, Robert, and Ava arguing. "How could he do this to us? He's already made a mockery of this family," Sandra shouted, crossing her arms. "It's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace," Robert huffed. Ava exhaled sharply. "I'm going to have words with him when he gets home." When who gets home?" Aiden interrupted. Sandra rolled her eyes. "Ugh, there he is. My future son-in-law. You better have a good explanation for this young man." "Do you have any idea how this makes our family look?" Robert tapped his foot. Ava paced back and forth as she screamed.
If you pull one more stunt like this, I'll lose my inheritance and we'll both be screwed.
Aiden's head was spinning.
Wait, slow down.
What on earth are you guys talking about? Without skipping a beat, Sandra produced a tablet, turning the screen toward him.
That little scene you made at the Sapphire Club today? It's everywhere. Our family's reputation could be ruined by this if they find out you're connected to us.
Aiden glanced down at the tablet. On the screen, he watched a video taken by a bystander of his fight with the drunken man at the Sapphire Club. Aiden's breath grew shaky. I'm already on such thin ice with the stones. How am I going to explain this to them?
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.